In a glittering ballroom filled with the elite, a white billionaire family's careless mockery of a black woman set the stage for a stunning reversal fortune. Their laughter turned to shock when, minutes later, she revealed her power and canceled a $1 billion deal that their empire depended on, exposing their prejudice and reshaping the dynamics of wealth and influence in a single, unforgettable moment. The incident unfolded at a high-profile charity gala in Manhattan, hosted at one of the city's most exclusive venues. The event was a magnet for the ultra-wealthy, with attendees including CEOs, investors, and philanthropists all gathered to support a cause focused on global education. Among them was Zuri Hamilton, a 40-year-old black woman whose name carried weight in the world of finance. Zuri was the founder and CEO of Apex Ventures, a private equity firm that had quietly amassed a portfolio worth billions. Known for her strategic brilliance and discretion, Zuri preferred to operate behind the scenes. Her influence felt more in boardrooms than in headlines. She attended the gala not to flaunt her wealth, but to network with potential partners for her firm's latest venture, a $1 billion investment in sustainable technology startups. Zuri arrived alone, dressed in a sleek, understated gown that spoke of elegance rather than ostentation. Her presence was unassuming, her demeanor calm and observant. She moved through the crowd with ease, exchanging pleasantries with familiar faces and making mental notes about new ones. Her goal was to finalize discussions with the Whitaker family, a billionaire dynasty whose real estate empire, Whitaker Holdings, was seeking Apex Ventures backing for a massive green energy project. The deal had been months in the making, with contracts nearly finalized, and tonight was meant to seal the partnership. The Whitaker family, led by patriarch Edward Whitaker, his wife Catherine, and their adult children James and Olivia, was a fixture in high society. Edward, in his late 60s, was a shrewd businessman whose charm masked a ruthless streak. Catherine, a socialite with a penchant for control, orchestrated the family's public image. James, the heir apparent, was known for his arrogance, while Olivia's sharp wit often veered into cruelty. Together, they exuded an air of untouchability, their wealth and status a shield against scrutiny. As the evening progressed, Zuri found herself in a small group that included the Whitakers. The conversation began cordially, with Edward discussing the green energy project potential to transform their portfolio. Zuri listened attentively, asking pointed questions about the project's scalability and environmental impact. Her insights were sharp, drawing nods from other investors in the group. But as the discussion deepened, James interjected with a smirk. "Ms. Hamilton, right?" he said, his tone laced with condescension. "I'm surprised you're so interested in green tech. I have thought you'd be more focused on urban initiatives. Given your background." The comment landed like a barb, its implications clear. The group fell silent, eyes darting between James and Zuri. Catherine laughed lightly, as if to diffuse the tension, but her words only made it worse. "Oh, James, don't be so blunt," she said. "But he's right, dear. Your perspective must be unique, coming from where you do." Zuri's expression remained composed, but her eyes hardened. She was no stranger to coded insults, the kind that cloaked prejudice in polite phrasing. "My perspective comes from running a firm that's outperformed most of yours," she replied evenly. "I'm here to talk business, not assumptions." Olivia, sensing an opportunity to pile on, chimed in. "Oh, come now, Ms. Hamilton. No need to get defensive. We're just saying it's refreshing to see someone like you in this space. It's not exactly typical." The laughter that followed was light but cutting, shared by the Whitakers and a few others in the group. The surrounding guests pretended not to notice, but the air was thick with discomfort. Zuri stood her ground, her voice steady. "What's typical," she said, "is underestimating people you don't understand. That's a mistake I'd advise against." Edward, sensing the conversation veering into dangerous territory, tried to steer it back. "Let's focus on the deal," he said, forcing a smile. "Ms. Hamilton, we're thrilled about Apex's involvement. This project is a game changer." Zuri nodded, but her mind was made up. She had spent years building Apex Ventures into a powerhouse, navigating rooms like this one where her presence was questioned, her expertise doubted. The Whitakers' mockery wasn't just personal. It was a betrayal of the trust she'd extended in their negotiations. She excused herself politely, stepping away to a quiet corner of the ballroom. There, she pulled out her phone and sent a brief message to her team. Pull the Whitaker deal, effective immediately. Within minutes, Apex Ventures' legal team was drafting a termination notice. The $1 billion investment, which would have funded Whitaker Holdings' expansion into renewable energy, was off the table. Zuri's decision wasn't impulsive. It was calculated. She had seen the Whitakers' behavior as a red flag, a sign of deeper issues in their business practices. If they couldn't respect her in a public setting, they couldn't be trusted as partners. Back at the gala, the Whitakers continued mingling, unaware of the storm brewing. Edward toasted to new ventures, James flirted with investors, and Catherine worked the room with her usual charm. But their confidence was short-lived. As the evening wound down, Edward's phone buzzed with an urgent message from his CFO. He stepped aside to read it, his face paling as he absorbed the news. Apex Ventures had withdrawn from the deal, citing irreconcilable differences in values. The message was signed by Zuri Hamilton herself. Edward sought out Zuri, finding her near the bar, engaged in a conversation with another CEO. "Ms. Hamilton," he said, his voice tight with panic. "There must be some mistake. I just got word you're pulling out of the deal. We're so close to finalizing everything." Zuri turned to him, her expression calm but resolute. "There's no mistake, Mr. Whitaker," she said. "I don't partner with people who disrespect me or my work. Your family made it clear tonight where you stand. I'm not interested in moving forward." Edward's jaw dropped. "This is about James's comment, isn't it?" "It was a misunderstanding. He didn't mean anything by it." "It wasn't just James," Zuri replied. "It was all of you. You assumed I didn't belong here, and that's not misunderstanding. It's a mindset. My firm doesn't invest in mindsets like that." Catherine, overhearing the exchange, hurried over, her face a mask of forced civility. "Ms. Hamilton, please, let's talk this through. This deal is critical for both of us. We can work this out." Zuri shook her head. "The decision's made. You had your chance to show who you are, and you did. Good luck with your project." The Whitakers were stunned into silence as Zuri walked away, her head held high. The other guests, sensing the drama, whispered among themselves, piecing together what had happened. By the time the gala ended, the story was spreading, first among the attendees and on social media, where a few well-connected guests posted cryptic updates about the Whitakers' misstep. The hashtag Gala Takedown began trending, with speculation about Zuri's power and the deal's collapse. The fallout was swift. Whitaker Holdings stock plummeted the next morning, as news of the canceled deal hit the financial press. Analysts questioned the company's stability without Apex's backing, and investors began pulling out of other Whitaker projects. Edward issued a public apology, claiming the family's comments were misinterpreted. But the damage was done. The Whitakers' reputation, once unassailable, was now tarnished by their own hubris. Zuri, meanwhile, redirected Apex Ventures' resources to other partners, selecting a consortium of minority-owned startups for the $1 billion investment. Her decision sent a ripple through the industry, signaling that she wasn't just a player in the game. She was rewriting the rules. Apex's portfolio grew stronger, and Zuri's name became synonymous with principled leadership. The Whitakers struggled to recover. James was sidelined from major deals, his reputation damaged by his own words. Catherine's socialite status took a hit as invitations to elite events dwindled. Edward, desperate to salvage the family's legacy, hired a crisis PR firm. But the story of their mockery lingered, a cautionary tale about the cost of prejudice. Zuri continued her work, undeterred. She spoke at industry conferences about the importance of respect in business, using the gala incident as an example without naming the Whitakers directly. Her firm launched a new initiative to mentor young entrepreneurs from underrepresented communities, ensuring that the next generation wouldn't face the same barriers she had. The gala became a turning point, not just for Zuri, but for the industry. It showed that power wasn't just about wealth. It was about integrity, and those who underestimated it did so at their peril. Zuri Hamilton had walked into a room full of giants and walked out with their respect, proving that one moment of truth could shift the balance of power forever.